It's snack time, and a wholesome one at that. Jenny Windom from Wholesome Games joins us to talk about the latest wholesome snack, the Game Awards edition. Both Kat and Joelle review games from the briefing, Pine, A Story of Loss, and Naiad. And the crew attempts to guess what game console released in Japan 20 years ago on December 12th, 2004. All this and more in the GoGCast right now.
Get ready for the Girls on Games podcast, your weekly dose of news, reviews, and everything video games. Always served with a good helping of hype and just a pinch of salt. And now, your host, Leah.
Hello and welcome to another Girls on Games podcast. My name is Leah. I'm the host of this show. This is episode number 474. And joining me around this digital table today is Catherine. Hey girl, what's up?
Hello, how are you?
I'm excellent, thank you. And Joelle, how are you?
Hey, I left for work and it was dark out, and when I got out of work, it was dark out. So great. Love this time of year.
Hey, fall, almost winter. We're very, very close to the shortest day of the year. Very close. But then the days get longer.
Yay.
So feel good about that. We are 3 right now, people around this digital table. Very shortly, we will be 4 people around this digital table as we get into our topic of the show, which is our interview with Jenny Windom, which was awesome. But yeah, let's get into housekeeping. Before we do that, I'd like to remind you that if you enjoy this show, you can subscribe. We're available on Apple Podcasts, YouTube Music, iHeartRadio, Spotify, and Podbean. If you'd like to get some GOG merch, you can do that by going to designbyhumans.com/shop/girlsongames. If you'd like to give us a tip, maybe buy us a coffee, you can do that by going to our Ko-fi at ko-fi.com/girlsongames. Ladies, I had an incident this weekend.
Oh.
Remember how last week, I told you that Mike and I went out and adulted and bought a new couch?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, I organized getting the old couch taken away. And on Friday, it got taken away. And then Saturday, they came to deliver the other couch. But they couldn't get it through the door.
Oh, no.
Oh.
So that went back. And Sunday we went and picked another couch. And I don't know when it's coming. So right now my living room has my outdoor patio furniture in it to be our couch. So I'm calling it the Roxbury because it's the inside outside and the outside.
Nice.
Oh, shit.
So yeah, it's not the most comfortable place to play video games right now, not gonna lie. So yeah, I've been hanging out in my bedroom. Luckily, I figured out how to play my Switch back there. Mike loves it though, because he has all the space for his racing rig.
I bet he does. He's like, who needs a couch? We don't need a couch, babe, right?
No, we don't need a couch. But yeah, that was a funny adventure that I had this weekend, which I was fit to be tied Saturday morning when I got up early in a Saturday morning, because they said they were going to be there at 8:30. So like I'm up, Mike's out the door, and they come in and they try to pull this thing in. They just can't do it. It's like 2 inches too big.
Oh, man. I had a dirty joke, but I didn't say it. You could infer.
You know what? That's what she said. Oh, man. So yeah, that was a fair chunk of my week. How was yours, Catherine?
Well, like I said last week, last week was hella busy.
Yeah.
And I went to my in-person training. It was very nice. They fed me. So, I'm there. They were like, lunch included. When I got the email saying, we'll be including lunch, do you have any dietary restrictions or allergies? I was like, yeah, I'm allergic to peanuts. I didn't know I was getting fed. I'm even more motivated to learn. Yeah. And then Friday was our party, which I did like I do every single year. I walked in, saw For Honor people, said hello, saw people I haven't seen in 6 months, and ignored my colleagues while I talked to other people. And then around midnight, I was like, about time I head home, eh? it's like, that's it. That's all I spoke to maybe 5 people I work with on the daily. In my defense, I'm very sociable when I'm at work. They see me, they hear me. I participate in the activities. I was like, I am kind of there to see other people. My bestie from UB Canada wasn't there for Christmas. I was like, we'll grab coffee. But yeah. And then at one point I realized there was an epic long line for the coach checkout around midnight.
Yeah.
Because that's when everybody was like, about time we get head out, right? Bunch of 30-year-old game devs, like, of course.
All the like leaders probably leave at that time because they can't. Like I don't drink with my colleagues. Do you know what I mean? Like if I'm gonna party.
I saw all the big wigs there, like Christophe Terrain and the new guy, Pierre Jules, that I affectionately call PJ. Because we're French Canadian, we're going to shorten everything, and I think it's funny because it sounds like pajama. But he's a super nice dude. He's a super nice dude, but it's like, like I worked with a Pierre Cal. He was PK, of course. So they were there.
JP,
I don't know when
Jean-Philippe.
Yeah. Pierre Alexandre P.A. So I don't know, around midnight, I started lining up. It went pretty fast. The coat
That's
check,
good.
like they were really on the ball about coat check this year. Like there was no lineup barely lined up when I came in. Some years we were like out the door, like all the way, like almost down the street. But yeah, leaving was a bit of a slog, but the coat check hack, if I may, that I've done many years ago and that I've done for many years, is if you want to get your coat quickly at a coat check, do not buy a black puffer coat. Because everybody in this bitch is wearing some kind of black North Face, Canada Goose, Canuck, you name it, Columbia puffer coat with the gray fur around the hood. Every Tom, Joe, Jerry, and Jenny in this bitch is wearing that coat. I show up, I give my ticket, I'm like, hi, it's a long khaki coat with big pockets on the front. 2 minutes, I have my coat. When they go in the general area of this number, my coat sticks out from all of your goddamn black Canada Gooses.
Yeah.
If it would have been cold enough for me to wear my parka, I would have been, hi, it's a long navy coat with white fur around the hood. And I would get that bitch in 5 minutes flat. Stop buying black coat, or keep buying black coat so I can buy the other colors. And be the only bitch in this place with not a black coat. And honestly, like even in the lineup, I was looking at everybody's color. I'm like, I am so happy I stopped buying black winter coats.
Kat, Mike and I have almost the exact same coat, except for the fact that his is an XL and mine's an L.
Perfect.
So oftentimes I'm like rooting through and I'm like, which size is mine?
Is it black though?
Oh, hell yeah. It's almost the exact same coat from the exact same store. Because Mike's, our sister-in-law, works for Arc'teryx.
Oh.
So,
nice.
yeah.
Those are
so
nice
we got
coats.
Them. They're freaking nice. Yeah, but Mike's and I, like, we both bought the similar style because we liked it.
Hey.
But every year going to that party is an adventure because it's up in a big indoor skate park called Le Taz. So it's on Papineau. So I just walk to Papineau, I jump on the bus. And it's always the day of the party that they give out the bracelet. It's also the day they give us our yearly Ubisoft Montreal toque. So I get on the bus. Everybody's wearing the same toque. And this year, the theme of the party was country. So cowboy rodeo.
Oh.
So people were either wearing the toque or a cowboy hat. I saw a guy wearing both over. So I just kind of pass out.
With the toque pulled over.
What a hero.
Yes. Yes. You know, he was into the theme, but not into losing his ears because it was pretty cold.
Yeah.
So I pass out. Like I walk into the bus. I say hi to like 5 people, go to the back of the bus, sit down, pass out. And then at one point, everybody starts getting out of the bus. And I'm like, I guess that's my stop. And lo and behold, I was at the right place. And then when I left that night, I was like, I missed the last bus. I was like, do I get a taxi and then do the thing where I get reimbursed a taxi? And then I was like, I'm pretty sure I can walk home in under 30 minutes. And I did.
Was it miserable, though? I know the weather has been all over the place.
It was windy and cold, but it was like -10, which for me is still like, I don't know, t-shirt weather, I guess. It was fine. It's just, it's not a great walk. Because it's not a nice area, like you're on a highway. Yeah. I was perfectly stone cold sober, so I was like, yeah, I'll walk. And honestly, I got home much quicker than if I would have tried to get a taxi or tried to get on the last bus. Sometimes you just gotta hoof it. You just gotta book it. And then I got home, washed off my makeup, and passed out. And after that, shout out to the person on Twitter or Blue Sky who said, thank you for normalizing doing shit fuck all on weekends. I'm like, hey girl, I'm telling you that, here to tell you I did it 2 weekends in a row. Because even though I did not get shit, I did not get shit faced on Friday. It was a very harrowing week, and all of Saturday. I even had a nap on Saturday. I don't nap.
Oh wow.
At Saturday at like 2:30, I was like, wow, I am out, and I slept for like an hour. And again, I went to bed. It was beautiful sunny day. Opened my eyes at like almost 4 p.m. and it was dark. It was
you missed all the sun.
I missed all of it.
You missed all the daylight.
It was worth it. But anyway, that was my week. It was just like hectic and fun. This week is a bit more quiet. Some people are trying to organize ad hoc like potlucks and shit at work, and I'm like, no.
Yeah, go away.
Next week is my potluck with my For Honor people, and that's my last work holiday activity. Thank you. That's it.
Sincerely, Catherine.
Yes, I'm making bread for that one. I'm gonna make little dinner rolls, like Hawaiian rolls.
Nice.
But usually a recipe makes 12 in a pan, but I'll make them like small because it's a potluck. Like you get a bit of everything. It's like a buffet. So I'm going to like double the recipe, but I'm going to make them twice as small. So instead of making 24 rolls, I should be able to make 48 half rolls. And they won't have to proof as long. And
yeah. Let us know how it goes.
yeah, I'm going to freshly bake them Wednesday night. I might work from home on Wednesday, switch a work from an office day to do it so that they're freshly baked. So just like plain little pieces of bread.
I think we need to go to Ubisoft for their potluck.
I was gonna say if the rolls turn out as memeable as those cupcakes are, I'm really looking forward to these.
The cupcakes I made for my boss.
That was so great.
Yeah, but honestly, like every year that potluck, I know for a lot of potluck sounds like terrible, and people just bring like
dips
stuff. Yeah, dips from the grocery store.
Yeah.
Not on For Honor. Like last year, somebody showed up with chili in a crock pot.
Nice.
With all the fixings on the side, like sour cream and cheese and shit.
Nice.
And yeah, somebody always makes epic cupcakes. There's like 20 kinds of salad. We don't have a heating source, so usually we do cold. But like the animator director, Vanessa, she makes a bacon and caramelized onion French soup type dip.
Yum.
So I'm making bread to eat with that because that is amazing.
That's smart. You guys are like collabing.
Well, she says I'm going to make the dip, and I was like, well, I can make bread, and we were like, good,
done, all right,
done,
love it.
So yeah, there's some guy always makes deviled eggs. Best deviled eggs I've had in my fucking life. I don't know. Like I gotta grab them at one point and be like, Max, will you put in this actual cocaine? Like,
probably like Japanese mayo.
Probably does the Kewpie mayo, which is superior.
Mayo. It is true. Yes.
It is superior.
Yeah.
But that's in 2 weeks. I'll tell you all about it. But I am blessed by colleagues who are as obsessed with food as I am. So that potluck is actually the talk of the company every year because they're like, what the fuck are you guys? It smells delicious in here. I'm like,
We're like, no, it doesn't smell terrible. Go away. This is just for us.
Go away. Leave. This is our food.
We always end up sharing a bit with the people on our floor, like for the extras or whatnot. Like, You know, like I'll take my leftovers, like cookies or bread or whatever I make, and sometimes I'll go to the project over, like see my friend James and be like, "You want some of this?" And he's like, "Of course,
hungry."
of course, I fucking do." Or we end up just like Tupperwares. I've brought home like at one point a Tupperware of like an extra lunch for myself of potluck food. I fucking love it. I love it.
Awesome.
Potlucks are great if you have any of people that can cook.
The right people. You need the right people around the table.
You need the right ratio of, yes, I'll buy chips, yes, I'll buy drinks, and versus people who actually home cook the shit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. So, Joelle, you're currently in the middle of training sessions while you're trying to do work at the same time.
Yeah.
And it's the home stretch before the holidays.
It's awful. It's like so bad. It's terrible. I don't know how. It's a poop tornado times 5. I wish I were dead. Everyone's stressed. Like,
is it just this week? Like right now? Or like
No,
when does your
well,
training finish up?
so the training is just this week, but we've been under this like hellscape last week, and we'll have it next week. It's just really awful timing, and the people that like run all the reviews, they're all in training, and we're all in training, so we had to get like everything done for the reviews next week, last week, because we wouldn't be able to get it done this week. So like it's been nuts.
And then presentations next week, so like it's a triple whammy.
Yeah, and then like so like one of our reviews is scheduled at 8 a.m. and I might have to jump in halfway and like finish the review because the system engineer is in training, but she wanted to start the review. So it's just not cool, and then leadership's also out of office. And so, like, they're not even going to be there. And I was like, why did you make us do this when you won't even be here to review? Like, why couldn't we just wait? Nope, couldn't wait. Unacceptable. Have to do it.
Unacceptable!
If they're not there to review, I'm sorry.
Presenting
Who's
to each other?
reviewing and giving the okay go if they're not there?
Their proxy, which they'll have to be like a proxy of a proxy to the nth degree. And then I think we'll all be like, we approve because we did all this work.
Yeah.
I mean, like,
We're all here at 8 a.m.
Yeah.
Is this approved? 8:05, everybody logs off.
Perfect.
Just sends the
Let's
email
go.
that it's approved.
Sounds good to us. Glad you made us all do this. So it's just like it's been a lot. Like really busy last week. I worked yesterday was Sunday. I worked Sunday. You know, I was had my meetings before the training, and then we had training all day, and then I came home and did more work. So hopefully like after tomorrow might be like in a bit of a better spot, but this training is also systems engineering training, and I've never had like any formal systems engineering like education or anything like that. So to me, and it's all new. So I'm trying to kind of take everything in, and so I'm sure by the end of the week, my brain will be total mush because I'm like, I don't know what any of this is, and a lot of people around me know exactly what all of this is. So it'll be good. Like I'm with a good group of people and stuff, but it's just a lot of. It's really a lot. A lot of people that I know, they're like, "Oh, we're just chill for year end." And I'm like, "You motherfuckers."
I wish.
I'm working
Must
overtime.
be nice.
Oh my god, so not chill.
Yeah, so I'm just trying to hang in there.
Yeah.
But
I know, I feel
after this week, next week, I might only work until Thursday, and then I have the next like 2 weeks off. So I'm just so close.
Beautiful.
So close.
Yeah. Yeah, we're in full court press to get everything done because like we had last minute buys on some like sold sponsorships on some things. So we're getting that out the door that was tied to holiday content, and then we have to get all the New Year's content and the beginning of the year content ready to go before we all go on vacation.
Yeah.
Right? So it's just like crunching. And though I was telling you guys that before we started that I've got like new job postings and stuff opened up, we're still down people. So we're just like pushing through. This week is the Game Awards, and the Game Awards always happen on the Thursday before the New York iHeartRadio Jingle Ball, which is the one that we cover every year.
Oh.
So I've got a team going down to that. So like they're working into the weekend because like the event is Friday night. So they'll capture everything, red carpet, whatever. But then we have to publish it from then into Saturday into Sunday. So we have teams working over the weekend to try and get that done. So yeah, it's kind of like the home stretch. But then I'm off on the 18th. So
Nice.
yeah, but I have to work that second and third, which is going to suck.
Oh,
or it's going to be like nothing going on. It'll be a good time for me to prep 2025 because there'll be nobody around.
Finally, some time to work, honestly.
So to go like and look ahead, right? Like that's the thing because we never get an opportunity to do that. So yeah, we'll see. Ladies, like I mentioned, we're right in front of the Game Awards. It's Game Awards Eve, this episode. When people are hearing it is the day that Game Awards are happening. So obviously we're going to talk about it next week's episode. But let's go look at Fantasy Critic real fast. Though I think next week we might be able to call it, I think.
There's only Indiana Jones left.
Indiana Jones, which needs the review out, which I don't know if it has. It's locked. Kat, you have it. I guess reviews came in because it does have full reviews now.
Yeah.
So 16 points for Kat.
Oh.
Wow, we were so tight that pushed Kat just above Joelle.
Oh yeah.
So it's me, then Kat, then Joelle for this year. We'll have to wait because we need the year. I think we need the year to die out to like close the other ones, right? But I think it's not going to mean anything.
Also,
this
is kind of bonkers because I had the worst counter picks of the year.
You did.
I didn't think Dragon Age would come out, and then mid-year they were like, we're for sure coming out, and I was like, oh crap. So then I knew that would hurt. That got me minus 10 points. But then Indiana Jones came back higher rankings than Dragon Age did, which I didn't know if I would have like predicted that beforehand.
Last week we weren't because we were like, no one's talking about this game.
I know.
Like, where is the PR around it?
It's a sleeper, and it knocked me back 16. So I'm just like, I lost 26 points on my counter pick. Lesson learned. This was painful.
But I have a question because, like, one of my counter picks and Leah, both your counter picks are games that are not coming out this year.
So they just zero out. It's kind of like when we don't. The other one, it means no points for or against, right?
Yeah.
Because we thought that's what I was betting on, that these games wouldn't come out. It's similar to Lost Records, Bloom and Rage, Assassin's Creed Shadows.
Okay, so it means because they're counterpicked, you can't drop them.
Can't drop them. Yeah.
So you force somebody to take a hit. Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that
second year, I'm starting to understand this.
We're getting there. Then on the Community League, Ross had Indiana Jones. Did anybody counterpick it? So right now in the Community League, it's Darth, then Ross, then Offshore, then Alban, then Pat, then me, Stainsby, Kingsby, Jessica Starr, Zhang Pao, and Phoenix is the order right now.
How will Alba so high by doing shit fuck all?
Albang had some fucking bangers, and then Mina the Howler, I think, will not release, and Wolf Among Us 2 is not releasing, so he just picked some good ones.
He's riding on vibes.
I got screwed by freaking whatchamacallit. Yeah, a lot of people lost out because they bet on games not coming out or doing poorly in counter picks that actually didn't. Like, when you look at it, Offshore Meteor had Avowed, which is not coming out, an unannounced mainline 3D Mario platformer.
That was a smart pick. Yeah.
Albang had The Wolf Among Us and Mina the Howler as the two counter picks. Neither of them coming out. Zhang Pao had Final Fantasy VII Rebirth and that minus him 25 points. Warhammer 4000 Space Marine 2 minus him 11 points. So imagine there's 36 points he could have had on top of his 49.
Wow.
You know, like that would have been great. Me,
Yeah.
I got freaking hammered by goddamn Elden Tree in the Shadow of the Erd Tree, because I thought that was Elden Ring. Sorry, Shadow of the Erd Tree. I thought that was gonna push till next year. I lost 28 points.
Never bet against Elden Ring.
Like, I was on a freaking good roll here, except for a whole bunch that were saying they were coming out, or one that didn't even get a review. Like, Factoria Space Age didn't get a review at all. Like, if I had that 28 points back, I'd be almost 70. Hold on now. 70. I'd be 108 points. Like, I'd be doing really good.
Wow.
Fine arts, by the way. I'm not very good at math. At least not off the top of my head. Pat got hammered by Dragon Age Veilguard, minus 10. He did get some points on Harry Potter Quidditch Champions, which he got 4 points for. Pugs and Pixels, Jessica Starr. Metal Gear Solid, Snake Eater, and 33 Immortals. I don't think either of those two are coming out this year. Stainsby Kingsby, Hollow Knight Silksong, and The Altars. Neither of those are coming out. Ross, Skull and Bones, he got 10. Silent Hill 2 Remake, he lost 17.
Wow.
Then Phoenix, Vampire Masquerade, Bloodlines 2 not coming out, Star Wars Outlaws minus 5, and Darth Stridius had Hades 2, which got 90, but got flagged because it's technically not releasing this year, but it has reviews, but it's not within our wheelhouse because we're not doing early access stuff. And Nightingale, which is currently reviewed, it says critic points is 59, but it has ... next to it, so I don't know what's going on with that one. Maybe that just came out at 59. He's going to get some freaking points for that. So Darth is definitely going to win. He's at 136, and he's got points incoming.
Wow.
So yeah, it's been an interesting game. Definitely different, kind of watching it, see it play out with 3 people playing versus how many are we? 10? But really fun because it's a totally different strategy to think about as you're picking games.
What a wild year! Like,
I mean, totally
just
wild year.
Really, really wild.
Very wild. Next year is also going to be wild.
Yep.
Because Grand Theft Auto 6 is coming out.
Oh yeah.
And potentially, the rumor now is that they're announcing the Switch 2 the first 2 months of the year, and then it's going to come out in the summertime.
Yep.
So yeah, unless something crazy happens at Game Awards on Thursday, but we shall see. And people in the future will already know what happened, and then we will talk about it.
We will react
next week.
Yes.
Ladies, I have just been up to my Stardew Valley nonsense. I haven't decided to go anywhere else, though there are games on Game Pass and on Switch already that I do want to play, but Stardew is just there, old faithful, when your brain is fried, debating what my holiday game is going to be. But I'm curious to see what you're playing. Catherine.
I took a small break from Dragon Age. And by small, I mean teeny tiny. To spend about, I want to say, 90 minutes to play through Pine, A Story of Loss. So this game was teased in the Wholesome Snack and is coming out, I do believe when this episode comes out, it's coming out December 13th, so the day after this episode. And it's definitely a snack, because it's a short one. But it's one of those games that is short and sits with you. It's the story of a woodworker who lives in a pretty remote area, seems, in a cabin, in a meadow surrounded by a pine forest. And he used to live there with his wife. And she died. And now it's about the grief and him finding purpose in this life without her. And I don't want to spoil a lot of it because it's very short, but I think you see a bit the progress because every day he's just sitting down and he has chores and you have to click on the chores and be like, hey, go fetch some water, go cut some wood. go tend to your garden, go this. And as days advance, you have less chores that you have to remind him to do. Like he'll get up and he might fetch the water on his own. And sit with the 1,000-yard sail and you'd be like, you also have to tend to the garden, guy. So, and there's just like very low gameplay, very small gameplay mechanics. And every interaction is meaningful in that sense of the grief journey. It's not a hard game. There's no difficulty. There's a couple of puzzles that are not very hard, but that are nice. Some of them, you have memories about your wife and you get puzzles, small like mini games for that, and sharing track with these memories. And there's only really like when I played this advanced beta, there was pretty much one achievement, which was finish the game, and I got it. Yay! Platinum this shit.
Pro gamer.
Yeah. But it's got a beautiful art style, very simple, very straightforward. And you can play it in one sitting. I played it in two because, like I said at the top of the show, I had to take a nap on Saturday. And I don't have a Steam Deck, so I was like, I'm going to pause this and come back in an hour. But yeah, beautiful game. When I saw it announced, I was like, yeah, rip the heart out of me, you game. And they did. They did. Quickly.
Nice.
But they broke it and mended, like a true story of loss and grief. And there's what I liked about the story is a bit of the spoiler, but at the end when you get into like the hopefulness of it, right? Of, hey, I'm going to get through this, and you know, I still have a life in front of me, and I'm starting to understand how maybe my life will be without this person. You know, the balance of honoring the memory, but not getting stuck in the past and everything. Mm-hmm. I find a lot of these stories, especially when it's losing a romantic partner, is like their happy ending is to give this person a new romantic partner. Like just meeting someone and a glimmer. There's none of that here. At the end, when you get the hope and the sliver of hope and the sliver of I can move forward, he's still alone in his fucking forest. And for that, I'm like, yes, finally, because it starts with you. It's not meaning somebody else that's going to fix it. Mm-hmm. And you're just going to have a terrible relationship because they have to deal with you in your grief. It starts with you. And if you need to know that it ends well for you to play this kind of game, it ends well enough. But I will not tell you how, why, how. You have, even knowing this, you can go in and experience the full game and can rip the heart out of you and then put it back in and sew it back in place. But really enjoyed it. I love these mini games that are like poignant stories. Yeah.
Great. Thanks, Kat. Joelle, what have you been playing?
I also took a break from Dragon Age, and I fortunately was able to get my hands on a game called Naiad. And Naiad is actually the Greek word meaning to flow. And it's from the ancient mythology that Naiad is a water nymph, presiding over fountains, wells, springs, streams, brooks, and other bodies of fresh water. And when I say I have always wanted to be a water creature that cares for all of the things around her, this game allows me to do just that. So you play this water nymph Naiad, and it's a top-down view, and you're constantly navigating and maneuvering through streams and lakes, and you can have a fast swim, and you have a few powers. Through the power of song, you can shepherd wildlife to unlock hints for puzzles, which is such a neat mechanic, I think, because it's it's really cool that you can flow through the water and swim fast and make notes and like kind of create this song. And you gather all the creatures around you, like frogs and ducks. There's alligators, there's sea otters. You interact with bears and deer to level up your character and to gain hints for the puzzles, which I think is a really like neat mechanic. There's not too much like moving objects around, which I found kind of like refreshing. I don't know if I've quite played a game where I have to interact so much with the other like NPCs that are animals. It's like truly a Disney princess experience, like if you're looking for one like in a video game. It's about 4 hours long. It's by one developer. Their name is High Warp, and the graphics are very modern, really cool, like flat. I don't know, Kat would be able to explain this in a more professional art direction, but they're like flat, but 2D in a sense. Like I said, it's a top-down, almost like a side-scroller adventure. And yeah, you're just kind of zooming through the water and taking in the vibes. It's a very dreamy, poetic experience where you really take from the game kind of what you see in it. There's not a clear, like, one set narrative that you're supposed to experience. It's very open-ended to kind of get from the game, like, what you're needing at that time, which I found to be very, like, relaxing and, like, trusting. So I thought this was a really great and unique experience. The music was super cool, and the sound design of the game is also really cool. If you're playing with headphones, the sounds of the water and the splashing, the ambiance of the birds tweeting and the frogs croaking just really envelops you as you move throughout the world and just brings like everything to life. So I truly did get lost in this world and found myself like wanting to make sure that all of the pieces like fit into the puzzle just so before I left the area. And you can go back to play chapters after you finish them if you want. There's actually 16 chapters, which I thought was very generous for a game that's only 4 hours long. So it was nice that if I kind of wanted to move on from an area, I knew I could go back and replay. And let me just other thing too. There's not a lot of voice acting, so there is some sounds and stuff. There's no dialogue, so that's also kind of nice that you just kind of sit back and don't have people like talking to you as you're going through the game. It was a nice break from Dragon Age, where there's just a ton of exposition and a lot of narration. So this one was a really good break from that. Easily playable within a weekend, and if you're just looking for a dreamy, chill game to experience, like this one, I think is definitely worth your while to pick up. So.
It's another one shown off in the Wholesome Snack, right?
Yes, it's going to be shown off in the Wholesome Snack for the Game Awards, and it's going to be available shortly after. If it's not out that day, online tells me that's going to be out on the 13th. And it's going to be available... What?
It's the next day?
Yeah, the next day. And it's going to be available on PC, Xbox, PlayStation, and Switch. This would be a great game to run on the Switch. The only thing is that I would be maybe a little hesitant with the graphics on the current Switch, but I'm sure the new Switch, that there's been rumors that it's going to be backwards compatible. So maybe if it's something you might want to pick up now and then be able to play it when the new one comes out, if you just want to wait, if you're a Nintendo exclusive user. This is a really, really neat experience and unique like type of game where you're always in water and just constantly flowing and in motion. And the physics reflect that. So I definitely feel like your character is moving and swimming through the water. This is really neat. It's really neat. I always find water really relaxing and calm and chill, and I was like, this is what I need. This is what I need right now in my life. So yeah, really, 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 really cool game by one person, which is flabbergasting. So
Totally.
It looks really fun.
yeah, it is really cool, and it's really what you want to get out of it, you'll get out of it, which I really appreciate. I thought it would be a little bit more narrative driven, maybe having certain like poignant messaging or really like hitting home with a certain type of feel, and it really doesn't, which I find very freeing of the game. And it's not like obtuse or boring at all. I found it very captivating. So again, you kind of got to go into it though with a really open mind and not expecting like the game to kind of tell you how to feel in it. You just really kind of let yourself go through the motions, and experience it, which I found really nice.
Cool. All right, before we get into our interview with Jenny, let's take a walk down memory card lane. Each week, the team will have to guess a historical game that would have been released during the time of this episode's airing. We'll start with its release date, then I'll give hints about the game, and the team that will attempt to guess what it is. As always, ladies, please do talk it out. All right. This console released in Japan on December 12th, 2004, and in North America on March 24th of 2005.
March 2005 for North America.
December 12th, 2004 in Japan.
Japan.
So end of year release for Japan, spring release in 2005 and 4. So,
that's like PlayStation 3-ish.
Yeah,
Xbox 360, Nintendo Wii.
I was graduating high school. Oh my god.
Can't relate.
I don't. I don't know. I don't have a guess for this one.
I was in college.
All right. It featured a 333 megahertz CPU, 32 megabits or 64 megabits of RAM, depending on the model, and a 480 by 272 resolution widescreen LCD.
To play this game.
What?
You said it was required or it featured?
It's a console.
Oh.
I said that in the beginning. It's a console.
Sorry,
I totally missed the console thing. Sorry. I was like, I'm really confused. That's what we said.
I know, you both had blanks, and I was like, did you guys not catch that I said console?
No.
Like I said, this time of year is wicked hard.
Okay. So we're
console today.
Okay, so is it the Game Boy Advance?
No.
Are we?
Is it the Nintendo DS?
Yes.
That it is not.
I don't. Is it a handheld? Kat, are you sure it's a handheld?
Is it the PSP, the PlayStation, the PSP?
The Portal or
You
the
got it. PlayStation
with the
Portable.
discs?
Yes.
Oh wow.
The PlayStation Portable released in Japan on December 12, 2004, and in North America on March 24th, 2005. It featured a 333 megahertz CPU, 32 or 64 megabytes of RAM, depending on the model, 480 by 272 resolution widescreen LCD. Man, we were working with tiny shit back in 2005. In addition to games, it could play music, videos, and display photos, making it a versatile versatile entertainment device. Who freaking used it for that? It supported Wi-Fi
friends did.
for online. I know. It supported Wi-Fi for online multiplayer gaming,
Wi-Fi.
internet browsing, and downloading content.
Wow.
It's among the first console to integrate digital game downloads. It has a library of over 1,300 games. It used a proprietary optical disc format, the UMD.
I remember those.
Sold over 80 million units worldwide, and its successor released in 2011, known as the PlayStation Vita. That is the PlayStation Portable.
Yeah, Pascal had a PSP. He still has it in his office, I'm pretty sure. But that thing was one of the best handheld consoles out there. Like, seriously, it makes you feel bad that the Vita wasn't better supported. Or better marketed, because I remember my friends like not having an iPod, and I'm like, why aren't you getting an iPod? They're like, I don't need an iPod, I got a PSP, and they would use their PSP to listen to music.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
I feel like there's a pivotal moment right after the PSP as we got into the Vita is when the smartphone market started to really pick up for all the mobile games on that. And now we've entered a realm where we've got these hybrid systems that can do both, where gaming on the smartphone is still not what a Switch or a Vita or what a console could do. So we're sitting in this weird no man's land now, again, a little bit, where things like ROG Ally and all that kind of stuff and the Steam Deck are kind of filling in the blanks. I think there's been rumors about PlayStation looking back into portable again. I see Joel nodding there. So, like, there's definitely something there. But I feel like it's just the Vita released in that in-between times when we just weren't ready for it. And to get people to drop that kind of cash, which I did, on a console, considering how big the DS was and how many games there was for it. And then also... Is that around the same time the PS3 was out? PS4 wasn't out yet, was it?
No. It was
So
in
the
between.
other thing, too, is a lot of people were jumping ship to Xbox because the PlayStation was so goddamn expensive, right?
Yeah.
So, the PS3. So, like, it was a weird time
Yeah,
for, I think PlayStation then, too, and portables.
Because back then, like, you know, like the PlayStation Portable and the DS and everything, they had, like, their own library of games. And I think mobile ate that market. But like, if you look at portables nowadays, they're basically AAA playing consoles.
Yep.
That can push like AAA games.
Yep.
Or something similar, right?
Oh,
I don't think we're ever going to get a portable that has like a portable consoles that play portable console games like we had for the DS, 3DS, and the PSP and the Vita. I think those are now mobile games.
Yeah, it's going to become something like what the PC companies have started to do on those, and where Switch is going, and where it's like a complement to your already to the libraries you already have, which is cool. All right, ladies, let's get into that interview. We're going to talk to Jenny Windom of Wholesome Games to talk all about the very special Wholesome Snack, the Game Awards edition. Let's go. Jenny Windom, welcome. Thank you for coming to hang out with us here on Girls on Games. We're so excited to have you here with us today.
I am so excited to be here. I told you right before, but this is like a full circle moment for me because I listened to you before I was even in the games industry, and now I get to chat with you here. So yeah, I'm very, very excited.
Oh my God, that gives me shivers to think about sometimes. We're really stoked to talk with you too because we just got to watch the most recent Wholesome Games snack briefing, the Game Awards edition, which was really, really fun. And so we're really curious to talk about that. But first, let's get into your background and stuff. What got you into gaming and the job you do now?
It's sort of this lovely winding. I feel like that's kind of the way we all get into the industry, or many of us, is this winding path. I was originally a middle school teacher, And
Oh, wow.
I really wanted to bring in games into the classroom and have fun with my students in the ways that I like to have fun and learn, which is through video games. And so a lot of my early content creation days were just learning how to make video content. And eventually I wanted to like bring some of that into the classroom, but I also found a lot of joy just posting content online. So I did that on YouTube for a bit, and I got sort of found by this company, and they're like, "You're making content on indie games. We have these indie games as a part of our platform. Do you want to just make content for us?" And so it evolved into me being a content creator for this company and becoming a community manager, and just all of that growing into me transitioning out of education and into the game industry, which has been very, very fun.
Wow. That's super cool. Because, yeah, I see so many opportunities lately, especially with things like Minecraft Education Edition and other ways that you can kind of bring the gamification in a good, productive, educational way into the classroom. So maybe at some point you'll go back there and teach, or at least like build something, because I think that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah. Well, because like I have this newsletter that's it's like a book club, but for video games. And each week, like, this is super nerdy, but I loved lit circles when I was a teacher, where you get to like read the books with the kids, and every week you discuss a chapter. And so I've done that with video games in this newsletter, and it's just like, that's fulfilling the teacher side of me. So someday I want to bring that to classrooms for sure.
Well, sometimes when I even explain to what this podcast is to people who are not necessarily, in the know in the games industry and things like that, like, say, like, visualize my parents who don't know much about these things. They're like, well, what do you talk about? We're like, news, and then think about like a nerdy book club. Like, that's what we do here, right? Awesome. So, for those who are not familiar with Wholesome Games, can you give like a quick overview of like what you guys do?
Yeah, so we focus on curating, highlighting games and developers and studios that create experiences that allow you to be hopeful, compassionate, explore ways that kindness can be shown through play and through video games. And it's been wild. We started as a Twitter account, on social media, just posting recommendations every day and highlighting these games. And around 2020, we started with showcases, and that has also now become a pillar of our work. And so we have 2 showcases a year, and we hope to continue to do more things. We had our first physical event, physical participation at an event with PAX earlier this year. So really just hoping to bring people into games and highlight the games that are doing things maybe a little bit differently than what people, maybe like your parents, would expect from games.
Mm-hmm. Fantastic. Yeah, I think that's when we learned about Wholesome Games. Kat, correct me if I'm wrong, but it was through Twitter back years ago.
Yeah.
It was way before pandemic and everything.
Yeah. When the Twitter account popped up, I forget who originally shared it in our Discord, but I remember somebody popping up in our Discord, like adding you, like being, Leah, this is your kind of stuff. And we've been with you ever since.
Yes. It's almost like come to be my favorite thing to watch and experience during things like E3 or Summer Games or whatever. Like, anytime it pops up, like, it's what I'm looking for. Because oftentimes we're sitting in those different press conferences watching each event, and there's a wide variety of games, but not necessarily everything speaks to me. And in most cases, every single game in a Wholesome Direct or a snack speaks to me in some form, or I know would speak to either Kat or Joelle in some way, which is awesome.
It's incredible, because that's really one of the first initial like big sentiments we got from folks, is that this feels like a showcase for me. And it was really exciting because like when Matthew, James, myself, like I remember the first time we met in person and we were talking about this, all of us wanted to just create a space where we saw the games that we loved and we highlighted, and we wanted to find other people who love those kind of games too. And just, there wasn't a space for that at the time. And fortunately it has grown, and I feel like so many more people are excited about these games openly. And we have a huge community now to draw from. It's really cool.
Yeah. And like, there's so many indie games out there that you guys are totally giving a platform for. I wouldn't know about some of these games if it wasn't for you and the Twitter account and everything. So like, if someone was an indie game and wanted to get involved with you guys, how would they go about doing that?
We have an email. So like on the Twitter account, you can email us at any time. Folks will tag us now on social platforms just to say, hey, like, there's a trailer here, or there's something you should check out. Specifically, a lot of games like to reach out about showcases in particular, because that is where games have the most opportunity to get visibility and eyes on their game. And with those showcases, the Wholesome Direct has application. It's free. Anyone can apply if they feel their game is a fit, and they can see if they can get into the showcase. It's now got, I think last showcase we had for the Wholesome Direct was over 700 something odd games that submitted. So it's now getting to be more and more competitive, but we try our best to showcase as many games as possible. The snack is a little different. It's continuously evolving because it originally began as a way to just like highlight the games that we had showcased previously, but just do a little update on what's going on with them, just see how they're progressing. Because the interest was so high, every year we get more and more new announcements, and it's starting to become its own like hefty showcase. But the snack currently is still more curated by us, where we have like maybe scoped out some of the games, reached out to folks personally, because we know our community's excited and that we're excited about it. But really, we're pretty open. Like, send us an email, tag us on social media. We keep an eye on what people are excited about too. So yeah, we just look on social media a lot.
I adore the fact that it's free. Like that you guys are giving such a phenomenal platform to something that like could cost tons and tons of money. As someone who works as a day job in the media industry, I know what that stuff costs. It ain't cheap. So for like, that's a massive like thank you for doing that, because if not, like I said, a lot of these games we would never know about.
Yeah, our hope is, as we started this, we said we wanted to curate and highlight, compassionate, kind, hopeful games. I think as we've continued to develop as this entity organization, we really want to get more specific in how better can we support developers. And so what's really exciting is like we have this showcase, we get the opportunity to work with folks at Valve, at Steam, to do like more events through their platform, which is huge for developers who maybe they weren't able to make it into a showcase, but we can get them into like the Wholesome Games Steam event, which is a little bit more open, and we can include more folks because we don't have like the time restriction of we have to stick within like an hour or so. And we hope to continue to find more ways to do that, because there are so many games. And I think the most like heart-wrenching thing is we see a lot of games that are maybe not at the right point in their development cycle that could be featured in a showcase. Like they just need a little more time to cook, or maybe this just, there's not an opportunity in the showcase, but we want to find other ways to support them. So yeah, we're hoping to continue to try and evolve, to do as much as we can to highlight developers.
Speaking of evolution, you guys now have dipped your toe into the publisher realm and have helped release a bunch of games, some that are out now, some that were talked about in the snack. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, we have the opportunity. So through just sheer, honestly, like work and luck and a combination of all these factors, we've had the opportunity to help support these developers, particularly in marketing. We found that a lot of developers, when they come to us, they say, we just don't know how to reach this audience that we know would love our game and that we know would be excited. And so that is our bread and butter. The majority of our skill sets come in, like my day job is marketing. My day job is influencer management. And so these are skills that we can offer these developers support in. And so we said, all right, well, we're going to be very clear. We're not a publisher in the sense that like maybe we're not offering localization, we're not offering QA, but we can offer you these specific skill sets and this type of access to an audience that we think would love your game. And if it's a good partnership for the developer and for us, we try to make it work. And so far we've had 3 titles that have been like wonderful to work with. We hope that there are many more. And yeah, we want to grow this sustainably. So we're hoping to not like, I don't know, come out with 10 more games in the next year. We want to make sure that we continue to support the teams that we've worked with already, but take our time and do this as right as we can.
Fantastic. All right, Let's talk about the 2024 Game Awards edition, Wholesome Snack Briefing. We got to see it a bit early so that we could have this discussion and prep it in advance, but now the world has seen it. Yes. So much awesome stuff. Kat, Joelle, and I have all picked our key ones that we're interested in chatting about. Is there anything in particular that you are really excited to play out of all the games that we saw, which was like a lot of games?
We really squeezed a lot of titles in this year. We were like, we only have, 30-ish minutes. We don't want to go too long. But yeah, we definitely squeezed a few in. Honestly, it's really hard for me to pick one. It's like picking favorite children.
Yeah.
I would be really interested to hear like what you all gravitated towards, and what caught your eyes.
Sure, yeah, we can toss into that. Kat, you want to kick it off?
Oh yeah. There was Spirit Swap, Lo-Fi Beats to Match to. That one I've seen like a while back, and I've been waiting for this game to publish because I was like, Candy Crush, but like with a narrative game, like dating sim type game in the background. Absolutely, like auto wish list.
Oh,
so I was happy to see updates for it.
I am the lead producer for that game. Yay! So I'm like, this was not staged. This was not. That makes me doubly happy. We've been very excited to announce this too.
And you've got a release date now, February 3rd,
we
2025.
Yep,
which is
official.
Fantastic. Yay! Yeah. It looks so pretty, too. Like, it's like the lo-fi beats, the matchmaking, the aesthetic, everything. Like, it just... Yeah. I think it speaks to all three of us.
That makes me so happy.
Yeah, it was on my list, too.
The team. Yep. Oh, my gosh. Thank you.
Kat, anything else you want to chat through?
Obviously Pine, because please... ripped the heart out of my chest. I love a good heart-wrenching story. Like some of my favorite like narrative games include, simple but games that do have a serious topic. Like you remember Florence, like the little game, the mobile game about like how she falls in love, falls out of love, rethinks her life and moves forward. So stories like Pine, I'm like, yeah. Please hurt me, I guess. No, but it's just like these games that talk about like something very heavy, like in this case, grief, but how it shows you how it's not the end. That life, when we say life goes on, we mean it. Like that there's something on the other side. And that moving on doesn't mean forgetting or stuff like that. So when I saw Pine, I was like, yeah. I got my Kleenexes ready. Wish list.
Yep.
Joelle, how about you?
I was captivated immediately by Duck Detective. And I know it's going to be there's a first one that's out, and I didn't play that one. And in a total confession, I didn't always gravitate towards like smaller indie games. I've always wanted to play kind of the large AAA games, and as I've gotten maybe more like mature in my gaming style, I've come to appreciate and love the smaller indie snackable wholesome games, because sometimes like you get done with a big RPG and you just need to feel good for a little bit because you need that re-energizing from video games. So I found that Duck Detective like completely stole my heart, and I was like, I need to be in this world and figure out all of this mystery. So really excited for Duck Detective. And then Naiad actually 100% captured my attention because I love water and I love to be around water. And when that trailer hit, I was like, I feel so relaxed and rejuvenated, and I cannot wait to dive into this game, to just explore and to like have a tranquil experience with a video game. And I am so pumped to play and to review it. So that one just really hit me in all the feels. I feel like it's just one of those games that I feel like is made like for me to play, and I'm so excited. So.
Joelle, I feel like that game in particular is almost like the summary of your 2024 too, because Joelle learned how to scuba dive this year. So like all of it coming together. So like that for me feels like what Joelle must be experiencing when she's scuba diving.
You know, I hope that I continue to feel as tranquil in scuba diving as this game will allow me to be. Like, I think I'm actually going to have to channel this game's energy when I go scuba diving because it just seems that just so perfect. And I also really loved in the trailer in the different scenes, you're this character who kind of swims through streams, and it seems like you have to solve a few puzzles and you have collectibles as you go through, and there's different environments and worlds that you explore. And one thing that I thought was really nice is one of the trailer scenes, you kind of go under a bridge and there's traffic, and you know there's the noise of the traffic and the hustle and bustle of having to get to and from, and then your character is like in a lazy river just like floating along underneath. And I just love that juxtaposition of like, yes, like people can be going, you know, about their business like in this crazy traffic and with all their things to do, and like I can relax and chill and be in the water and not be bothered. So I thought that was a really nice, for me, like a world to dive into where I have that separation between all the things that I have to do in my like go every day, where I can just play this game and I like immediately feel my shoulders dropping from my ears and like feel relaxed. So I'm really excited for that one.
On my front, I love management sims, city builders, things like that, crafting. So the two that really spoke to me, River Towns is really interesting. I love the concept of the grid system that they've got there. It gives me a little bit of vibes of Timberborn and other kind of like city building games that I've seen, but like a different kind of method, because it looks like you've got to kind of balance different types of buildings, or maybe it's in different roles by the folks that you have living within your city and stuff like that. So yeah, that looks pretty cool. Additionally, Little Rocket Lab, because it's got like the whole like building, automating, crafting side of it, but it has this like different perspective because you're going in as like this isometric side view, which is pretty cool, that I hadn't really seen used in that kind of a game. Like you kind of see it in a lot of them because they're top down, but maybe a little bit. But this one feels really dropped. So yeah, I'm really keen on those two games and excited to hear more as they come. But like honestly, going through the entire list, like every second game I was like, wish list, wish list, wish list. And the beautiful thing is too, is that you guys were able to shadow drop either games in general, or that they have a demo or they're released like day of, which was kind of wild.
Yeah. We honestly, I think this is probably, of all of the snacks, I should actually look at the data with the directs, but like just pound for pound, this is probably one of the most packed snacks we have ever had in terms of announcements. It's incredible the way that developers are trusting us with sharing this information. Like it really feels surreal a lot of the time, and we definitely want to do right by all of them. What makes me super excited is listening to all of you, and you mentioned each of you such a different type of game too, which is like one of the goals we had too is not just be known as the cute games, or not just be known as the farming sims. I think that's something that we've gotten, we've heard feedback on, we've seen folks, sort of speculate like, okay, is this, especially in our early days, is this just going to be farming sim direct, for the rest of the days? And
we do love a good farming sim.
We do. I am not tired yet of farming sims, but what's really exciting is, just hearing the stuff that just from you three gravitating. We have some narrative stuff. We have some more like systemic types of games. And so it's been just, even on a small scale, really exciting for me to just hear that feedback come back through you all, and really be excited about what we've done.
Well, we appreciate it because it's definitely bringing games that we're keen on to the limelight, and we appreciate, because we know that you guys do this, and like it's, extra work. Like us doing this podcast, you guys are kind of doing it as extra work because you're passionate about it. And I want to make sure that folks know and where to follow you guys and all that kind of stuff. And you guys have a fantastic newsletter that I get every month.
Yeah, I love our newsletter. I find it helpful.
Oh, it's very helpful because there's so many games that release that it's hard to know what's coming when.
Yep. And so if folks want to find out anything, it's just wholesomegames.com, but that's where you can sign up for the newsletter. That, what we try to do is every month curate some of the highlight games, the games that have really caught our eye, because I think the struggle right now is that there are so many games. Like every day, hundreds of games are getting released, and of those, especially if you're into cozy games, there's plenty of options, and so it's like a problem of many choices. And so we try to help narrow it down for folks too, so that you can find games that are most likely to resonate with you, and hopefully, are great experiences that leave you wanting to play more games in the future.
Well, Jenny, thank you so much for agreeing to come on the show and talk about it.
Anytime.
We will call again. Open invitation anytime you want to come hang. We are game. Because I feel like we all click when it comes to the types of games that we like to talk about and are passionate about. And our audience is too. So thank you so much. And enjoy the next one and enjoy kind of the fruits of your labor from this event. And we hope for many, many, many more to come.
Thank you so much. Really happy to be here.
Another very special thank you to Jenny Windom for coming in and taking some time to chat with us all about Wholesome Games and what they do, because I think it's super beneficial, super needed. And the Wholesome Snack was a lot of fun and lots of cool things for us to play in the very near future. And with that pretty much closes out our show for this week. As always, check out the show notes on girlsongames.ca for links to all the stories mentioned in this episode, mostly about the Wholesome Snack. As always, I'd like to remind you that if you enjoy this podcast and want to do us a solid, you can do that by going to the podcast platform where you're consuming this. Hopefully they have some kind of rating system, and you can rate our podcast. Additionally, if you can put in comments, it helps us build our show. So very, very much appreciated for you to do that for us. This is also the moment in the show where I open up the floor for the crew to shout out their social media handles so you can follow them anywhere and everywhere online. Catherine, where can people find you?
I am CSDSBANSSDBA on X, Instagram, Blue Sky, Threads. I think that's about it. But you can always find me in the Girls on Games Discord. That is where I'm the most active and the most reachable as I try to cure myself of my social media addiction.
Joelle, where can people find you?
People can find me on Instagram at JoelleLauren87, on Blue Sky at JoelleLauren, and always hanging out on the Girls on Games Discord. Come and say hi.
And I am Leah Jew on most social media platforms, but of course you want to know everything there is to know about Girls on Games. You can track us down at The Girls on Games on X and Facebook. Just Girls on Games on Instagram, Threads, Blue Sky, and TikTok. Discord.me/Girls on Games. You can continue this lovely conversation and more, but of course if you ever need to know anything at all, you can track it down at our home base. That's our website, girlsongames.ca. Thank you, Kat. Thank you, Joelle. It's been another lovely week in video games, and I'm back to Stardew Valley. Who am I kidding, right? Talk to y'all later. Bye.
Bye.